Silver prices plummet 25% in 1 week, but Silver Standard CEO John Smith doesn't care because he's focused on China.
So China has been our savior over the last 7 years. And what I'm starting to see is basically the play out in China. I think it's been a story to date of iron ore, coking coal, manganese, the metals that build the infrastructure for China. And as they built the infrastructure for China, and they built the roads, and they built the apartment blocks and so forth, people come into them. You will then start to see a pull-through of more industrial metals, the aluminiums, the coppers, and then ultimately a play-through when people have disposable incomes into the likes of gold and silver. But an interesting transition as that comes through and people get more technologically enabled in those kind of places like China is you will see a lot more computers used and things that will necessarily pull through the industrial side of silver. I think a large part that's also missed is there's a lot of other countries surrounding China that have got large populations that are also growing as developing nations, and that will help the economic situation we're seeing both in the US and Europe and ameliorate some of the worst effects.
Silver Standard can find itself caught between a rock and a hard place, dealing with skittish investors and the threat of a global slowdown.
We get the worst of both markets, but I think that's a short-term position. I think long-term fundamentals are good. Fundamentals are driven by it being a precious metal and being an answer to this economic malaise, so you're seeing money coming into it. Long-term, I do think there's more industrial demand for our product, as you see that's used in computer componentry and solar cells and medical applications. Those themselves are fairly significant applications for silver.